thumbs up, please do that. And so we heard in a positive note. And the tricky part is that you need to take it gradually. So we've been 3 years now. The second episode of the show when it first started, we wanted to criticize a minister. We actually had the team to call him up and say, hey, we're going to make a joke. Are you okay with it or not? And then he said, sure, go ahead. Now, 3 seasons later, one of the episodes, we actually had a bunch of ministers as Pokemon. And we didn't need to get any approvals for that. So we're
except from the Pokemon people who are probably don't worry about it.
But what happened is we're taking it step by step, and episode by episode we can actually discuss more interesting topics. Now the risky area is that if you jump a big jump that you can't actually handle, and that's when that'll be your season finale.
So let's talk about that calculation a little bit, about trying to be funny, trying to reach your audience, which by the way is on average about 1 million views per show, which I had to tell Omar is more than some NBC shows. So it's a big number. Talk to us about when you're sitting with writers, what's the calculus? And give us an example of something that, for instance, you said, let's not do that.
Okay. I'm not going to give you an example. But our writing process goes through 3 stages. First, we write really good content, and then we remove all the funny stuff because we can't talk about that. And then we shoot content, and then from that content we remove just a little bit, and then we're out with an outcome that we think is something that wouldn't make it to TV. So we're still shy with our content. We're not as aggressive as we would like to be. Because the funny content is the edgy content, but we can't be as edgy as we want. The writing process is, my wife is the lead writer, Lema, and so she's my boss everywhere. Not good. But we don't. The question that we always face in Saudi, that people think that we actually have to get approvals from a certain number of people, but we don't. So we just write whatever we think is good content, and my mom does not get upset with it. One of the things that in our culture is not only politics, it's not only the government. So for example, after every episode I get a 10-minute call from my mom telling me off because I would be criticizing elderly people. And now in our culture, you're not supposed to criticize the elderly, you're supposed to respect them. So it's not only about politics, sometimes about culture.
So how much fear is involved? I mean, we know that the Saudi regime is not as orthodox as some regimes, certainly in the Gulf and certainly in other places. But does that enter into your calculus as you're writing and thinking the format?
Yeah, we're careful. We try to be calculated. But there is no specific law or system to go with, so it's really gut instinct, and that's pretty dangerous. But so far, I mean, 3 seasons, I think 40 episodes, and we're still going, so that's the only indicator that you're okay.
So tell me about your audience. And then now you said that you do political without being political. From what I understand of Saudi Arabia, it's not actually a highly politicized view. What do they want?
Our generation, they want a voice. They want someone to speak up and to discuss elements. And honestly speaking, since this whole thing started, because now it's an industry, there are many shows, some are political, some are comedy, and there is a positive reaction to this voice. So what we're doing, we're magnifying or reflecting what society is discussing. So it's something that everyone is talking about, but not everyone in the media. So it's not on TV, maybe some newspapers are touching on it, but everyone is talking about it, but not in the main channels. So what we do, we just magnify that in our show. And then when it has 1 million views and you get your 95% likes, so 90% likes means people agree with you. They actually think, yeah, we agree with him. Now, I think this is actually doing the authorities a favor, because now they know, oh, okay, they want this. It makes their job, if they want to, a lot easier.
Do you